Hello and welcome back to the channel Life of Bonsai. In this video I'm going to be repotting my monster water jasmine. So this water jasmine, I got it maybe I think around the beginning of summer. So I've been looking for a pot for this tree and I finally found one, which I'll be showing you here. Now, this is the pot that I got and I think it looks really nice. It's kind of like a bluish thing, but what I like about this pot, if I can show you here closely, now here's a close-up of the pot. What I want to show you is this pot has whitish looking accents, which is great because the water jasmine flowers white. It's really beautiful, fragrant white flowers. So this really accentuates that. Now, if you can see, maybe more on the side, if you can see right here, it's got some kind of like brownish tone to it at the edges, which is great because it kind of accentuates the bark and the trunk of the tree, which is great. It's got maybe a little bit of greenish tint if you look at from the right angle, which is the leaves, and that beautiful blue tone to it. So this is the pot that I'll be using. It's beautiful. So this is going to be my front right here, which is nicely done. It's got a nice taper. And of course, when summer starts, or spring pretty much, and the weather starts warming up, and I'm able to bring it outside, this thing is going to grow nicely. I want it to be more compacted, maybe get rid of some branches here and there, but it's a really nice tree, and I can't wait for it to flower. It's just gonna smell beautiful. Without further ado, let's get started with the repot of this tree and see how it looks in this pot. So here is a tree, and I have my mat right here, so I'm not gonna make a mess all over the floor. But I already cut down the wire that was anchoring the tree, and I'm going to remove it slowly. There you go. And I have some extra soil at the bottom, which I'll reuse. So put this to the side. So here's my tree. Now, as I look at the bottom of the tree, there is some really nasty roots that I need to remove in order to fit better in the pot. So that is what I need to do. I'm going to get rid of some of these nasty looking roots. So here I am. There's just some nasty looking things right here. And I believe this tree was field grown because these roots are just too thick. I don't think they grew like that in a container. So I'm definitely almost 100% sure that this is a field grown tree. So all these nasty roots at the bottom, they need to go. So I have the tree here, and I think what I need to do, I need to wash out all this soil completely. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and rinse out the roots completely, and that way I can have a better view of what I need to prune and what I need to keep. Okay, so as I was removing some of the roots, I was kind of wondering why it was looking like, so crowded, compacted. I don't know, it was just weird. So as I was removing some roots, I noticed that it's actually not all roots. So this tree was definitely field grown, and you can see this soil, kind of like clayish looking soil. So I'm working on removing as much as I can because this is going to cause problems down the line. So you can see right here, it's just got some ugly chunks of that soil looking thing. Um, so that's what I need to remove. It kind of looks like mud, but it's definitely clay. It was grown in clay when it was in the ground. So, um, I wonder how they I guess it was just put it into that container as soon as it was taken off the ground. So that's what it is here. Don't worry, this is not the actual pot. This is another pot that I have, another container. So I'm just using it so I don't mess with the branches as I'm doing this work. So that's what I need to do. As you can see, it's just a whole mess of that ugly clay soil. I need to remove as much as I can. I'm hoping that I can remove it completely, and this is really gonna push the tree to its max and do really well. So this is what I need to do here. So after a good fight, maybe 30 minutes or so, I was able to clean it up better, and I was able to get all these feeder roots out. So it looks like they were all compacted into that clay soil, so they were all crowded in there. But now that I was able to get that, as you can see, I was able to remove that soil. I think I removed 90% of it, if not more. But all the roots are more free and they look beautiful and healthy. So now, this is how it's going to be fitting in the pot. With the bonsai soil, it's going to look, I'm sorry, with the bonsai soil, it's actually going to help those roots a lot more because it's going to have a lot more aeration and the roots are going to be able to grow better. So this is how the tree is going to be looking in the pot. So let's start with the repot after pretty much over an hour of cleaning those roots and taking out of the container. But finally, we get to the fun part. Let's go! So I'm going to start by adding a good amount of soil at the bottom as my base layer. That's where the tree is going to be sitting on. That is perfect right there. Now to place the tree and make sure that it's centered where we want it to be. So, those roots in. Up a little bit, and I need to look back and see. So here's a better view of the tree. Now, I was trying to hide this imperfection right here, so I might be able to cover it up with soil. So I'm just trying to see what is the best placement for the tree. I think right there. So you gotta look back. I need to move it just a little bit to this side because the tree is kind of leaning a little bit to the side. So I think this should be just right. Let's look back. That is just perfect. So now to fill up with soil. So yeah, so I think this and the boxwood were the ones that took the longest for me to repot. Usually it takes me like no more than 30 minutes or maybe even 40 minutes, but the boxwood and this guy, it took over an hour. But it's well worth it. I guess that's how it is with like larger trees, smaller trees, of course, are way easier to handle, way easier to move around. But larger trees, they just they just take a lot of patience, especially when you're working on roots. It really takes some time for you to develop everything and make sure that everything is going right. I'm just gonna add more towards the back, making sure that everything is filled up. And I'm using smaller grain bonsai soil for this, just because this is pretty much a shohin, I would say, and it's better for the tree. Here is a tree, finally repotted. And I think it's looking really nice. I like how the base looks a lot better now. I was able to hide that imperfection on each side, which is just a straight chop. So I was able to hide that, which is really nice. Now, I'm really confident about this tree, about this repot. So I think that I did really well on removing that ugly clay, muddy looking soil. The roots have much more aeration now, and there's no way that I can get root rot with this tree anymore. So now just to let it grow, I'm just gonna let it go crazy on this growth season. And even being indoors, it still should grow more with this new soil. So now I'm just gonna water the tree and just let the tree recover. Maybe down the line, I might remove this branch back here because it's just too low. Maybe this too, and then just keep that straight up. But we shall see. For now, it's just about letting the tree recover, get stronger, healthier, and flower. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate you guys sticking to the end of this video. Please subscribe, share, that means a lot, and you guys have a great day.